Effective introductions and conclusions. A few simple sentences placed at the beginning and at the end of your presentation can be the difference between an ordinary presentation and an extraordinary one. Introductions. A good introduction contains 4 elements. Let's list them, then go through them in turn. An attention getter, a credibility statement, the thesis, and a preview of main points. Utilizing a good attention getter at the very beginning of your presentation sets the tone for your message and helps establish your credibility as a speaker. There are a few simple ways to begin your presentation. Tell a story to your audience.
I once got an email about that. Someone wanted to be my friend. I said, okay, here's my credit card information, buddy.
People love hearing stories, and stories can help personalize an issue. For instance, it can bring a topic like identity theft, something that the audience may not be familiar with personally, down to a more personal level, something that the audience can start to identify with. Present a quotation. There are many quotes on the internet that can be attributed to famous people, and they too can set the tone for your presentation. Whether it's serious, fun, or motivational, a quote can quickly inform the audience of your topic and how you will approach it.
Comedian Jay Landon once said, I don't have to worry about identity theft because no one wants to be me.
Ask a question. A rhetorical question can inspire the audience to think. A question that requires the audience to raise their hands or actually answer you can help the audience feel a part of your presentation from the very start.
How many of you shred your junk mail before throwing it in the garbage? Raise your hands.
Give a startling statement. Maybe you found an interesting fact in your research that you feel the audience needs to know and identify with from the very beginning. Whichever way you decide to begin your presentation, you need to say it with enthusiasm and with authority. Don't read it from your note cards, but you need to know your attention getter well enough to be able to state it from memory. After presenting an attention-getting statement, take a couple of sentences to introduce yourself, if it hasn't been done already, and let the audience know how you know what you know about this topic. You can do this in a couple of ways. First, you can simply tell the audience that you have conducted research on the topic. Second, if you have some personal experience with the topic, let the audience know that too. Now that you've gotten the audience's attention and presented a quick statement of your credibility or why the audience should listen to you further, give them the thesis statement.
College students need to realize that identity theft can negatively affect their lives if they don't take preventative measures.
Before getting the meat or the body of your presentation, you should review all of your main points to the audience. It could be as simple as,
Today we will discuss the 3 common forms of identity theft, the signs of identity theft, and simple ways to prevent identity theft.
Giving the audience a small clue of what you are getting ready to tell them is crucial to getting them to continue listening to your message. Conclusions. Now that you know some effective ways to begin your presentation, you need to know how to wrap up the presentation. First, you should review your main points.
Today we have discussed the 3 common forms of identity theft. You know now signs that your identity may have been tampered with. And finally, a few simple ways to prevent your identity from being stolen.
There's no need to Forrest Gump your endings. Remember in that iconic movie when he would finish each one of his anecdotes with the phrase, "That's all I got to say about that"? Well, that may be all you have to say about it, but you need to use some of the same ideas from the attention getters to wrap up your thoughts. First, you could finish the story that you started in the introduction. That is effective because it obviously creates anxiety amongst the audience that they want to listen throughout your presentation to see how your story ends. Second, you could end with a quotation.
U.S. Senator Bill Nelson from Florida summed up our lackadaisical attitude toward identity theft with the following quote: "If we don't act now to safeguard our privacy, we could all become the victim of identity theft."
Third, you could end with a rhetorical question.
But now that you know the facts, what are you going to do to prevent identity theft from ruining your life?
Whichever way you decide to end your presentation, though, you should utilize good vocal variety and paralanguage to emphasize your main points and give a strong concluding statement.